Sit down, child. Sit closer to the fire, for the night is cold today, and the forest spirits wander among the trees like mist across the meadows. Do not be afraid. You are safe here. You are safe here. This chamber is a place where time stops, and worlds, the visible and the invisible, meet like two streams in one riverbed. I am a witch, that is what they call me, but I prefer an older word, a deeper one. I am a volkva, I am a wieduńka. A wieduńka is she who knows, who sees what others do not see, who hears the whisper of the wind in the crowns of the oaks, and understands what the rain says when it falls on the peat bogs. My grandmother was a wieduńka, and her grandmother before her. We reach our roots so deep into this earth that our bones are of the same clay from which Mokosh molded the first women. Do you see these herbs? Each of them has a name. Each has a soul. Each has power given to it by Mother Earth. Before I tell you anything, before I open the door to my world before you, you must understand one thing. One most important thing. Everything is alive. Stone is alive. Water is alive. Fire is alive. The tree under which you sit in the sweltering summer feels your presence. The earth on which you tread remembers your every step. We, the Slavs, have always known this. Before those came who spoke of one God and one truth, we spoke with 1,000 gods, and none of them was far away. None sat on a throne behind the clouds, looking down on us from above. Our gods walked beside us. They sat with us by the fire, they sang songs with us, they drank mead with us, but I will tell you about the gods later. Now I want you to close your eyes. Close your eyes, breathe slowly. Inhale through your nose deeply until you feel the air filling your belly. Exhale through your mouth slowly, like the wind blowing through a crack in the door. Once more. Inhale, exhale, good. Just like that. Do you smell that scent? That is mugwort, Artemisia. The old ones called it mother of herbs, because it is the oldest, wisest of all plants. We burn it to cleanse the space, to ward off evil spirits, to open the mind to what is hidden. Now you are ready. Now you are ready. Let me tell you about my world. In the beginning there was chaos, darkness, void, and then came Rod, the forefather of everything. It was he who separated light from darkness, heaven from earth, water from fire. Rod is the one who gave the beginning. He is the root of the tree whose branches reach to the stars and roots to the deepest underworld. From Rod was born Swaróg, god of the sky, god of celestial fire, god of blacksmithing. Svarog forged the sun and placed it in the sky to shine for people. Swaróg taught people to work metal, to cultivate the land, to build houses. He is the father of gods, the Svarogids, children of fire and sky. And then there is Dażbóg. Dażbóg, god of the sun, god of prosperity, the god who gives. His very name, Dażbóg, means the giving god. He rides across the sky in a golden chariot harnessed to white horses, and a golden band of light trails behind him. When you wake up in the morning and feel the warmth of the sun on your face, that is Dażbóg touching you. It is his hand stroking your cheek every morning. But there is also darkness. There is Veles. Oh, Veles. Veles is the god of the underworld, god of cattle, god of wealth, god of magic, god of poets and musicians. Veles is the one who guards the souls of the dead. When someone dies, Veles leads their soul through the dark forests of Navia, the realm of the dead, to a place where the soul can rest. Veles and Perun, they are eternal adversaries. Perun is the god of storm, god of thunder, god of warriors. Perun sits atop the world tree, atop the great oak, and Veles lurks at its roots in the damp darkness among snakes and frogs, and they fight each other. Constantly they fight. Perun hurls thunderbolts at Veles, and Veles hides, changes form, becomes a snake, a bull, a bear. This fight, it is the fight of heaven with earth, light with darkness, order with chaos. But one cannot exist without the other. Perun without Veles is like day without night, like summer without winter, like inhalation without exhalation, and that is precisely why we, the wieduńkas, honor them both. We do not choose one. We do not say, this god is good and that one evil. No, everything is needed. Everything has its place. Darkness is not evil. Darkness is the womb from which light is born. And now, Mokosh, mother, great mother. Mokosh is the goddess of the earth, goddess of fertility, goddess of fate. It is she who spins the threads of human destiny. Do you see this spindle? Mokosh has the same, but infinitely larger, and on it she spins the fate of each of us. Every human has their thread, thin or thick, short or long, smooth or full of knots. Mokosh is a mother, but not the gentle, quiet mother you imagine. She is stern, just but stern. If you do not respect the earth, Mokosh sees it. If you take more than you need, Mokosh sees it. If you harm the weaker, Mokosh sees it. And then she tightens her fingers on your thread, and the knots begin. Problems, illnesses, misfortunes. But if you live in harmony with nature, if you respect the earth, if you give of yourself as much as you take, Mokosh blesses you. Your thread is smooth and strong, your life flows like a peaceful river. There is also Łada, goddess of spring, love, beauty. Łada is the one who makes your heart beat faster when you look at someone. It is she who wakes the butterflies in your stomach. It is she who paints the blushes on the cheeks of lovers. In spring, when the snows melt and the earth wakes, it is Łada who returns from Navia, from the realm of the dead, and brings with her flowers and warmth and the singing of birds. Marzanna, sister of Łada, or perhaps her second face, is the goddess of winter and death. Every year, when winter ends, people make an effigy of straw, dress it in white robes and drown it in the river or burn it on a pyre. That is the farewell to Marzanna, farewell to winter, farewell to death. But Marzanna is not evil, she is needed. Without winter there would be no spring. Without death there would be no birth. Without darkness there would be no light. And also Svarog, god of the winds. His grandchildren, the winds, blow from the four corners of the world. The north wind is cold and severe, bringing frost and snow. The south is warm and gentle, bringing rains and harvest. The east is dry and hot, bringing drought. The west is damp and fickle, bringing storms. When you stand on a hill and the wind tugs at your hair, that is Svarog touching you. That is his breath. Close your eyes then and listen. The wind is telling you something. It is always telling you something. One only needs to know how to listen. And Swaróg, the god with four faces, looking in four directions of the world at once, god of wisdom, god of divination, god of just war. In Arkona, on the island of Rugen, stood his great statue, wooden, with four faces, with a horn in hand. Every year the priest filled this horn with honey and wine, and divined from it how high the liquid reached, whether the year would be fertile or if hunger would come. There is Jarilo, god of spring and fertility, young, beautiful, on a white horse. He arrives in spring and the earth wakes under the hooves of his horse. There is Kupawa, god of the summer solstice of midsummer night, when fires burn on the hills, and young people jump through flames, Search for the fern flower in the forest and bathe in the rivers. And there is Triglav, the god with 3 heads, ruler of 3 worlds, Pravia, Javia, and Navia, Pravia, the world of gods, the higher world, the spiritual world. Kavya, our world, the visible world, the world of the living. Navya, the underworld, the world of the dead, the world of spirits. 3 worlds connected by the world tree, the great oak, whose crown reaches Pravya, trunk stands in Havya, and roots descend to Navya. We, the wieduńkas, are able to travel between these worlds. Our souls can climb the trunk of the great oak to Pravya, where we talk with the gods, or descend by the roots to Navya, where we talk with the spirits of the ancestors. It is not easy. It is not safe. But it is our work, our service, our gift and our curse. Do you know how I talk with the gods? I will tell you. It is not as you imagine, that I sit, close my eyes, and suddenly hear a booming voice from heaven. No, the gods speak quietly. They speak through signs, through dreams, through coincidences that are not coincidences, through animals that appear on your path, through sudden thoughts that fall into your head like a spark from a bonfire. When I want to talk with Veles, I go at night to the forest, to the crossroads. Crossroads. That is a place of power, a place where paths meet, where the borders between worlds are thin. I sit there on the ground, on the bare earth, and wait. I wait in silence. I do not pray. I do not ask. I just am. I open myself. And then, sometimes after a moment, sometimes after an hour, I feel something change. The air thickens. Shadows become deeper. And I know that he is. Veles is beside me. I do not see him with the eyes of the body. I see him with the eyes of the soul. I feel his presence as you feel the weight of someone standing behind your back. And then I can ask. I can ask for advice. I can ask for insight. And the answers come, not in words, but in images, feelings, knowledge that is suddenly in my head, as if it had always been there. With Perun it is different. With Perun I talk during a storm. When the sky opens and the thunderbolts crack, I go outside. Yes, I know, it is not safe. But I am not afraid of thunderbolts. Thunderbolts are the voice of Perun. It is his speech. I stand in the rain with my face turned to the sky and listen. And I feel his power, raw, pure, potent power that knows no compromise, knows no half measures. Perun is the god of truth. Truth simple and absolute. Do not ask Perun for advice if you are not ready to hear the truth. With Mokosh I talk by the fire. I sit by the bonfire or by the hearth, look into the flames and spin. Yes, I spin wool on the spindle. The monotonous motion of the spindle, the warmth of the fire, the crackle of wood, that carries me away. That opens the door, and Mokosh comes. I feel her like warmth, like an embrace, like the smell of freshly baked bread, like the touch of a motherly hand on my forehead. And then I know what I have to do. Mokosh does not speak. Mokosh shows. I see images. As if I were looking into a mirror of water which reflects not my face, but my future. And with Łada, I talk in spring, in a meadow full of flowers. I lie on the grass, look at the sky and sing. Old songs that a grandmother sang to a grandmother, and she to the grandmother before her. Songs of love, of longing, of joy, of pain. And Łada comes with the wind, with the scent of flowers, with the warmth of the sun on closed eyelids. With Łada I do not talk, With Łada sing, she is the only goddess with whom one sings. But do you know what is most important in talking with the gods? Not the technique, not the ritual, not the place, nor time. Most important is sincerity. The gods detest lies. The gods detest pretending. If you come to them with a mask on your face, with a false smile, with hidden motives, they will turn away from you. But if you come with an open heart, with real pain, with real joy, with a real question, they will answer. They will always answer. Not always as you want, not always what you want to hear, but always what you must hear. But enough about the gods. I will tell you now about herbs. That is my domain. That is my treasure. That is the knowledge that I carry in my hands and in my heart. Ah, herbs. Herbs are the blood of Mother Earth. When Mokosh created the earth, she gave it a body of clay, bones of stones, hair of grasses and trees, and blood. Blood is the juices of plants. Each herb has a drop of that blood in it. Each herb has power. But listen to me carefully. Herbs must be gathered in the proper way. You cannot just go out into the forest and pick what you like. No. Each herb has its time, its place, its words. Herbs are best gathered at dawn, when the dew still lies on the leaves. Dew, those are the tears of Łada, the tears of the goddess of spring. In them are power and blessing. An herb gathered at dawn, wet with dew, has 3 times more power than an herb gathered at noon. But not all herbs are gathered in the morning. Some, those dark, those strong, those dangerous, are gathered at night, at full moon, when the moon is round and bright like a silver shield in the sky. For some herbs draw power from the moon, not from the sun. Before you pluck an herb, you must ask. You must say, Mother Earth, you who give birth to everything that lives, allow me to take this herb, not for harm, not for evil, but for health, for good, for life. I take a part and I give gratitude. Let it be so. And you must leave something in return. A piece of bread, a handful of flour, a few grains, a little honey. Never take without giving anything in return. That is the fundamental principle. Balance. You give and you take. You take and you give. Now I will tell you about each herb I have. Listen. Mugwort, Artemisia vulgaris, mother of herbs, queen of protection. Mugwort was carried behind the belt, hung above doors, burned as incense. It protects against evil spirits, against charms, against illnesses. If you feel that someone wishes you ill, that something is not right, that a weight lies on your heart without reason, take a handful of dried mugwort, light it, and allow the smoke to smudge your body, your house, your things. Say while doing so, Mugwort, mother of herbs, cleanse me, drive away what is dark, what is evil, what is not mine. Let your smoke be a shield, let your scent be a sword. Let no evil pass, let no curse reach. Mugwort is gathered on Midsummer Night, on the night of June 23rd. Then it has the greatest power. Wreaths of mugwort thrown into the river on Midsummer Night divine the future. If the wreath flows straight, a happy path awaits you. If it spins in a circle, you will wander. If it sinks, well, better not to say. St. John's wort. Hypericum perforatum. Midsummer herb. Herb of light. Look at the leaf against the light. Do you see those tiny holes? Those are traces of the devil's fingers, who tried to destroy this herb because he knew how great its power is. But he did not succeed. St. John's wort is stronger than darkness. St. John's wort heals wounds of the body and soul. An infusion of St. John's wort is drunk for sadness, for heavy thoughts, for insomnia. But beware, St. John's wort is also the herb of truth. If someone lies and you give them a drink of St. John's wort, the truth will come out. Therefore, in olden times, when someone was suspected of theft or betrayal, they were given an infusion of St. John's wort to drink, and then one waited. St. John's wort oil, that beautiful ruby red oil, you rub it on wounds, burns, bruises. It heals the skin like nothing else. But it must be made in the proper way. You gather the flowers of St. John's wort in full bloom, put them in a jar, pour olive oil or linseed oil over them, close it and set it in the sun for 40 days. 40 days and 40 nights. The sun saturates the oil with its power, and the flowers give it their blood. That is why the oil turns red. Red like blood, like sunset, like fire. Wormwood, Artemisia absinthium, sister of mugwort, but sharper, more dangerous. Wormwood is bitter as regret, as betrayal, as loneliness, but in that bitterness there is power. Wormwood cleanses. Wormwood expels from the body what is evil, worms, poisons, illnesses. But it must be used cautiously, in small amounts. Too much wormwood, and it will itself become a poison. Wormwood is also the herb of vision. Old shamans burned wormwood and inhaled its smoke to open the third eye, to see spirits, to travel between worlds. But this is not a game. This is not entertainment. This is serious spiritual work that requires years of preparation. Do not try this alone. Do not try this alone. Please. Thyme, Thymus serpillum, field thyme. Herb of courage and strength. Ancient warriors carried twigs of thyme with them to give them heart in battle. Mothers bathed children in an infusion of thyme so they would grow strong and healthy. An infusion of thyme is drunk for coughs, for colds, for sore throats. But thyme also has protective power. Its scent wards off evil spirits and nightmares. If you sleep poorly, if nightmares plague you, put a bag with dried thyme under your pillow, and say before sleep, "Thyme, brave herb, guard my sleep, guard my soul. Let no shadow pass, let no fear touch, from dusk to dawn, from night to morning. Under your care I sleep peacefully." Nettle, Urtica dioica. Ah, nettle. People do not like it because it stings. But that which stings, that which pricks, that also heals. Nettle is full of iron, full of strength. An infusion of nettle is drunk for anemia, for weakness, for hair loss. Nettle cleanses the blood, strengthens the body. But nettle also has magical power. Nettle protects against thunderbolts. Therefore, bunches of nettle were hung under the thatched roof. Nettle protects against evil people. If someone threatens you, scatter dried nettle around your house. Nettle cuts off evil influences. If you feel that someone holds you, that someone controls you, that you cannot free yourself from someone's influence, take a bath in an infusion of nettle and imagine how the water washes away all the invisible threads that someone attached to you. Mint, mentha, herb of cleansing and freshness. Mint wakes the mind, opens the senses, clears the thoughts. If you must make an important decision, drink an infusion of mint. If you feel that something overwhelms you, that you do not see clearly, rub a mint leaf between your fingers and smell. Mint protects against lies. If you talk with someone and feel that this person lies, have a mint leaf with you. Mint will help you see the truth. Chamomile, Matricaria chamomilla, herb of peace and healing. Chamomile is gentle as a mother's lullaby. An infusion of chamomile is drunk for insomnia, for nervousness, for stomach pains. With chamomile, we wash eyes when they hurt. With chamomile, we rinse hair so it shines like gold. But chamomile also has the power of attracting prosperity. If you want money to come to you, wash the floor in your house with an infusion of chamomile, from the threshold inward, so that prosperity enters the house, never from inside to the threshold, because then prosperity will leave. Yarrow, Achillea millefolium, herb of Achilles, warrior's herb. Yarrow staunches blood. Its Latin name comes from Achilles, who healed his soldiers' wounds with this herb during the Trojan War. But this is not only a Greek story. Our ancestors knew yarrow long before the Greeks. Yarrow is a divinatory herb. Dried stems of yarrow are used for divination. You throw the stems and read the future from them. This is an old, very old method, reaching back to times when people and gods talked to each other directly. Black elder, Sambucus nigra, tree of magic, tree of the border. Black elder grows on the edge of the forest, on the edge of the road, on the edge of the world of the living and the world of the dead. Under the black elder spirits live. You must not cut it down without permission. If you do, the spirits will become angry and bring you misfortune. Before you come into contact with the black elder, say, Mother elder, give me of your tree, and I will give you of mine when I grow in the forest. Black elder flowers are drunk for colds, for fever, the fruits for immunity. But black elder also protects the house. A twig of black elder is hung above the door to ward off evil spirits and illnesses. Sage, Salvia officinalis. The name itself says everything. Salvia comes from the Latin salvare, meaning to save, to heal. Sage is the herb of wisdom and long life. An old proverb says, "Why should a man die when sage grows in his garden?" We burn sage as incense, just like mugwort, to cleanse the space. Sage smoke is heavier, thicker than mugwort smoke. Sage cleanses deeper, reaches further. If something evil happened in the house, an argument, violence, illness, death, smudge the house with sage. Open all the windows, light the sage and walk with it through each room, from floor to ceiling, from corner to corner. Say while doing so, Sage, wise mother, cleanse this house of all evil. Let your smoke carry out the darkness. Let your scent bring light. Let peace reign within these walls. Let health reign within these walls. Let it be so from today until the end of days. Lovage, Levisticum officinal. Lovage, herb of love. The name itself, lubjic, from the word lubich, to like, kokach, to love. Lovage is added to baths to attract love. Lovage is added to food. Soup with lovage is not only a tasty dish, it is a magical potion that warms the heart and opens it to feelings. But beware, lovage does not force anyone to love. This is not a spell of compulsion. This is not magic that breaks someone's will. Lovage simply opens. It makes you more visible, that your beauty, inner and outer, radiates more brightly. And then nature already acts. Attraction, chemistry, destiny, never. Do you hear me? Never do love spells that break someone's free will. That is the darkest magic. That is a curse, not a blessing. If you must enchant someone for them to love you, that is not love. That is slavery. And slavery returns to the one who imposes it. Threefold. There is yet one more herb I must tell you about. Bistort, Bistorta officinalis. This is the herb of travelers' protection. Ancient wanderers carried a piece of bistort root in their satchel so the road would be safe, so they would not meet evil people or wild animals. If you set out on a journey, take bistort with you. Put it in a pocket, a purse, a backpack, and say, "Bestort, guard my steps, let the road be straight, let my feet not stray, let no evil person see me, let no wild animal cross my path from threshold to destination and back, guard me, Bestort, on all roads." And now I will tell you about something difficult, about something people prefer not to talk about, but which exists and is real as this wall, this fire, this table under my hands. I will tell you about charms. Now I must tell you about something dark, about charms, about curses, about the evil eye. This is not a pleasant topic, but it is necessary, for evil exists. Not because the gods wanted it so, but because people have free will and can use power, any power, for both good and evil. A charm. It is bad energy directed at someone. It can be conscious, when someone deliberately casts a curse on you, performs a ritual to harm you. But it can also be unconscious, when someone is simply jealous of you, looks at you with hatred, thinks of you with anger. This negative energy gathers, thickens, clings to you like a wet, dirty fabric. How to recognize a charm? Listen carefully. If suddenly, without reason, you begin to feel poorly, if your head and back ache, if you are constantly tired, if you cannot sleep or sleep too much, if everything falls out of your hands, dishes break, things break, money escapes. If people turn away from you, if you argue with everyone, if you feel lonely, cut off from the world, if animals, dogs, cats react to you strangely, growl, run away, hiss, these may be signs of a charm, but do not fall into paranoia. Not every bad day is a charm. Not every headache is a curse. First, exclude simple causes. Maybe you are simply tired. Maybe you drink too little water. Maybe you need rest. Magic does not replace common sense. But if you know, you feel it deep down in your bones, in your belly, that something is not right, that it is something more than ordinary tiredness, then it is time to act. I will tell you now about the rituals of undoing charms. I know many of them. I will tell you about the 3 most powerful. The first, a ritual with water and charcoal. You need a bowl with clean spring water, not from the tap, from a living spring, from a well, from a river. 9 small pieces of charcoal, not briquette, real charcoal from a bonfire. A candle, preferably of beeswax, and mugwort, dried for incense. Do it in the evening after sunset. Light the candle, light the mugwort. Sit in silence and breathe deeply, 3 times. Take 9 pieces of charcoal and throw them into the water one after the other. With each say, "Not I undo, not I refuse, Mother Mokosh undoes, Mother Earth refuses. What is evil? Let it leave. What is dark? Let it scatter. What is not mine? Let it return to the one who sent it." First charcoal, from a charm of eyes. Second charcoal, from a charm of mouth. Third charcoal, from a charm of thoughts. Fourth charcoal, from a charm of envy. Fifth charcoal, from a charm of anger. Sixth charcoal, from a charm of fear. Seventh charcoal, from a charm of hatred. Eighth charcoal, from a charm of ignorance. Ninth charcoal, let it be so, 3 times 3, 9 times 9, by the power of Mother Mokosh, let the charm dissolve like smoke in the wind. Now look at the charcoals in the water. If they sink, the charm was strong, heavy. If they float, the charm was light, superficial. Either way, pour the water to the east, toward the rising sun, onto the ground, but not on a path where people walk, on wild ground, in a meadow, under a tree. Repeat this ritual 3 times, 3 evenings in a row. 3 is sacred. 3 worlds, 3 faces of Triglav, 3 phases of life, birth, life, death. 3 times is strength. The second ritual, the egg ritual. This is an old ritual, very old. Grandmothers in the villages have done it for generations. You need a fresh egg from a hen that walks on the ground, not from a factory. The egg is to be uncooked, raw, a candle of beeswax, and a quiet place. Light the candle. Take the egg in your right hand. Right, for the right hand is the hand of power, the hand of action. Now slowly, gently, you roll the egg over the body of the person on whom the charm was cast. You start from the head, from the top of the head, across the forehead, by the temples, by the nape. Then down, across the shoulders, across the arms, across the chest, across the belly, across the back, across the legs, all the way to the feet. While doing so, say, quietly, monotonously, like a lullaby, egg pure, egg white. Absorb into yourself all evil, all charms, all curses, all darkness, all pain. What is not mine, let it enter the egg. What is evil, let it be enclosed in the shell. I roll over the body, I roll over the soul. I gather darkness as dew gathers morning mist. Let the body be clean, let the soul be free, let the mind be clear. By the power of ancestors, by the power of gods, by the power of Mother Earth, let it be so. When you finish, crack the egg into a glass with water. Do not mix, look. If the yolk is clean, smooth, round, there was no charm or it was successfully removed. If the yolk is cloudy, if in the white there are threads, bubbles, if it looks like cooked, the charm was strong. If the white rises up like columns, like candles, someone wished you very strongly ill. Pour the contents of the glass onto the ground, again, not on a path, not into the sewage, onto the ground. The earth will accept it and cleanse it. The earth is a mother. Mother will accept everything. The third ritual, the salt ritual. Salt is sacred. Salt cleanses. Salt protects. For centuries, people scattered salt on the threshold so that evil would not enter the house. Salt was thrown into the fire to cleanse the house. With salt, the body of the sick was sprinkled to draw out the illness. This ritual is simple but powerful. Take a handful of salt, preferably coarse, rock salt, unrefined. Hold it in both hands, close your eyes and say, "Salt white, salt pure, you who protect, you who heal. You who separate the clean from the unclean, accept into yourself all evil, which someone has cast upon me, which someone has wished me, which came from evil eyes, from lying mouths, from jealous hearts. Let this salt absorb the darkness. Let this salt cleanse me by the power of fire, by the power of water, by the power of earth, by the power of wind, by the power of the four corners of the world. Let it be so." Then dissolve the salt in warm water and wash yourself with that water from head to feet, or bathe in a tub with salt. Drain the water, let it go. With it, the darkness will go.